Hello, everybody. This is Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog. I am here today on the Slow and Low series with Jacob Orth out of Jacob Life in a great blog and a great YouTube channel talking about your new life in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is in the news. A lot of people are transplanting to that city. It's what's happening. It's buzzing. It's not just nightlife and casinos. And so today we're going to interview Jacob to find out more about Las Vegas. All right, Jacob, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Erica. How are you doing?
Great. I know it's early where you are. Right.
That's all good.
But definitely. So Jacob, where are you originally from, and like, what prompted you to move to Las Vegas?
Oh, man. So like most people in Vegas and most people in Nevada, I am not from here. I grew up in a town called Modesto, California. So more up Northern California in the Central Valley. Town of about 200,000 people, which is a decent sized city, but not by California standards. It's considered like small farm town area. Then I went to college, though. After I'd finished high school in Modesto, I went to college in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I went to a junior college in San Mateo, which is about 15 minutes from San Francisco. And then after that, I was there for 3 years. Then after that, I transferred to San Jose State. I was there for 3.5 years. That's where I completed my undergraduate degree and then my graduate degree. And then literally the night after my last final, or the night of my last final in San Jose, I drove back to Modesto, stayed at my parents' place for that night, and the next morning woke up and drove 8-9 hours or whatever it was to Vegas, and had made the move right after I'd finished my less than 24 hours after I'd finished grad school. I was here in Vegas.
Oh man, what was it about Vegas that made you go, I'm out of here, I gotta go, people?
So when I was in school and growing up as a kid, I'd always been into sports, played plenty of sports through baseball, basketball, football, wrestling for a while. Football was the one I did the most. I played football, I think, 17 years from like third grade all the way through when I was at San Jose State.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and that was the big reason I went to college in the Bay Area, was because there's more opportunity there in a bigger area, and ultimately got a scholarship at San Jose State. But when you play football, for a lot of guys, it's common, like in the off season, they'll get a job doing security or running the front door at a bar or nightclub or something like that. And I had done it in the off seasons. I was the assistant manager of one club in San Francisco for a little over a year, and it was just something you did. I mean, it was one of the few things that like fit well with school and fit well with having time off on the weekends. And when I was getting ready to finish grad school, I just didn't feel like starting, I guess you could say, the rat race of life. And that was really, most of my background was in working in nightlife, and I'm actually not a big like nightlife party person, but I just knew in Vegas, people did it as a career, work in nightlife. They also go back and forth between hospitality, because hospitality in general is big out here. So I saw it really just as a way to get started out here, and if I ever wanted to move to hospitality or move to some other area, that it was a way to go. And I knew Nevada had no state income taxes, which California had just passed another state income tax before I left. I did eventually get that scholarship at San Jose State, but before then I was paying my way through student loans. So I came out with over 6 figures now of student loan debt. And the San Francisco Bay Area is like arguably the most expensive part of the country to live in. When I left San Jose, I believe San Jose had the highest median home price in the country. Median home price was like $750,000 out in San Jose. And with the debt I had, the cost of living, I didn't want to just start working, sitting in traffic 2 hours to work each direction every day, and just starting to climb the corporate ladder. So I chose a different approach. Moved out to Vegas, was working nightlife, not a normal career move by any stretch, especially after you get a graduate degree. Right. But the cost of living here is actually incredibly cheap. We have no state taxes. The tax burden overall is incredibly low. And, it was a little bit scary, but I'm glad I did it. A little over 2.5 years I've been here now, and I'm very glad I chose to make the move.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. To at least you have the perception to know this is a high cost of living. I'm going in student loan debt. If I stay here, I'm going to be driving in traffic. I'm going to be in the rat race. I've got to do something different. Like, and I think that's for a lot of people. Once you feel that, act on it. At least you acted on it before you're like 35 and like, I've been doing this for 10 years and I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd heard people talk about that, and I'd watch people on YouTube, and I'd seen it, through personal friends and family members too, where it's kind of like you follow this system, whether you consciously or unconsciously do. You follow this system or this narrative because you think you're supposed to, or that's what you do, and just didn't really sit well with me. So it surprised some people when I chose to make the move to come out here, and I only told a handful of people. So I just went ahead and made the jump, though. So, and I'm glad, to say the least. I chose a different direction, and I'm glad.
I was like, you did tell your parents that day. You didn't just wake up and drive off.
No, they knew. What I did was, the way my class schedule worked that last semester, I only had, I think, 2 classes in grad school, and one of them we took the final early. It was like a final project, and we finished it early, and I had like a week off. So I took a week to actually come out here to Vegas and look for work. And the second or third day I was able to get a job out here. And I spent the next couple of days, I had to get these work cards, these certifications. And then the last day I was out here, I signed a lease at a place, flew back to San Jose, did my last final 2.5, 3 weeks later. So that was how I had everything packed. And that said that next morning I was on the road. I'd already signed a lease, had a job lined up, and everything. I was committed at that point. So when I did that, a couple family members knew, but not all of them. Only I could count on one hand how many people actually knew. So I was doing it regardless.
So what was your kind of game plan for when you got out there? Was there like a roadmap, a kind of 2-year plan, a 1-year plan at all?
Yeah, I came, and it was interesting because when I was, the last couple years I was at San Jose, I became more entrepreneurially a stronger entrepreneur mindset. I was like doing picking, garage sales, yard sales. I was selling at the flea market. Like that last summer I was in school, that was how I supported myself, was just selling stuff online, getting stuff off Craigslist. I had a few products I could import and I would sell, but nothing that was going to turn into a full-time business and be really sustainable. But it supported me through that summer. And it was through doing that, and it just got really hard to sit in class and listen to professors lecture about business. And I'd also been interested in real estate, which I wanted to do, but it was another issue too, because you can make a lot of money in real estate out in that area because the cost is so high, but you got to eat too. Yeah. So, and I wanted to come out here to Vegas. I knew I could live very cheaply. I started paying off my student loans before they even became due after the 6-month mark. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to live cheap, start paying my loans off right away, and save up money and probably start investing out here in Vegas, was what I wanted to do initially. But I just did not see, at least in the next few years, I just didn't see the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, being a good place to start off coming out of school. I just didn't see it for me.
Man, that's so great that you were able to kind of picture that, realize the numbers are great, but the cost of living is so high, you gotta eat. I'm a real estate agent and I'm licensed in Texas. I'm getting ready to be licensed in North Carolina, but it's like you can make money, but it's like a push and pull. And so I love that you're in Las Vegas because you get an opportunity to kind of start fresh, hit the landscape. You can go running. You're picking, Craiglisting. You were hustling. I mean, that's what, a lot of people say online, Glenn Cameron, a couple other people, you're hustling. You're making cash daily. What I love is Las Vegas. I just read an article that, kind of sparked people's attention. And as a guy, he invests in Las Vegas. He bought a 1-bedroom condo, and he rented out Airbnb, and it's always full. So he bought it for about 40, put some nice things in it, and rented out for like $90 every night. And so there is just like the opportunities people look at. Who would have thought of that, right?
Oh yeah, and it's interesting. It's a different culture out here too. People are definitely working and hustling to try to make money. Part of it's just that culture from the Strip, and it's just it's different to say the least. It's just different than a lot of stuff I experienced back in California. But I love it. I love the hustle side of it. I love the entrepreneurship side, the pro business environment. So it's great out here. You won't hear me complain a whole lot.
So what are some of the books or the ways you started to get, I would say you get interested in entrepreneurship? Was it books? Was it just a teacher? You weren't feeling like you were growing in class? I mean,
Um, a certain element I think I just had as a kid. When I was a kid, and still to this day, I don't know where I found this out or how I found out, but I'm not even 10 years old, was just collecting aluminum cans in 2-liter bottles and taking them to get recycled. And I mean, my parents were like in softball leagues, so I'd go around. I had a garbage bag, go around to softball games they were at and collect people's empty beer cans and stuff from them. I used to even go. We grew up across the street from a park. I would go to the park on occasion, just dig through the garbage cans there. I mean, it was just like, I don't remember how I found out you could make money doing it, but I was doing it. And then I tend to think, as you get older and you go through like the formal education system, formal education doesn't really do a good job of promoting that kind of mentality. And it was really those last few years of college when, I was listening to Glendon even more, another guy I watch on YouTube quite a lot, Abdul Muhammad. I found him and Glendon both about 2009, because in 2009, that was when I had first heard about storage auctions, because I had a professor who actually used to do those. And, just hearing their experiences of how they built their success in business, I was just, very little of it comes from a formal education. So as far as books, I had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, liked that one. I had read Think and Grow Rich. That's a great one. I mean, those books are great because they give you, especially like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, gives you kind of the ideas or gives you the principles, and you go from there. Yeah. But it just present a different way of thinking that you're just not going to hear if you're just going to school, you're just in the regular workforce. Because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, or an owner, you're going to be in the minority. So, it's just not stuff you're going to hear on a regular basis. So books were helpful. I'd say, I think I just had a certain amount of it from when I was a kid. Books were helpful, and then just hearing other people's experiences, just people here on YouTube, was really helpful. And that was really it was probably that last year of university, of grad school, I was just itching, because I'm listening to Glendon, I'm listening to Abdul, hearing how they trial and error and how they have, but you're going to get there. And I'm listening to a professor lecture about business. I don't think the guy'd ever worked at a business in his life. And he had a PhD in the subject, but I don't think he'd ever worked in the private sector. So it was just, I just knew at that point that, school was just kind of finishing, and I was ready to move on and go do something else.
So how would you encourage others to get started in entrepreneurship? Like, you shared me your process. Like, if some guy came to you in Las Vegas, how do I get started? I want to start a business. What would you encourage him to do?
Actually, probably the biggest aspect, and is actually really within the question, is like, just start somewhere. It's you don't have to know everything in the beginning, and because you're not going to know everything in the beginning. And that's another area where I think, I had heard a saying one time about school, and it said, in school, when you're in the classroom, you get the lesson first, and then you get the test afterwards. In life, you get the test first and the lesson afterwards. So when you're out there in the field of battle, when you're starting off, you just have to learn as you go. And you have to have a huge amount of perseverance, because I would tell people, like, when I look on my channel, when I go to Jacob's Life in Vegas, you ever go back to the beginning and look at my first videos, my first 2 videos, I don't even show my face. I was like scared to show a video of the Bellagio fountains and a video of the Mirage volcano. And even before I started the channel, Abdul Muhammad had suggested, like a year before, that I do a YouTube channel. I was like, nah, I don't want to show my face. I can't talk about Vegas. Like, my job might find out and I could get in trouble. And, I had all this fear going into it, but just like, you have to start somewhere, because when you're out there actually trying, that's when you find new things out. Just since I've started, I've found out ways that people make money online that I didn't even know existed.
Right.
I just didn't even think it was. You just don't know about it till you come across someone who's like, they've been working in it for a long time. I'm like, oh, well, I do things this way. You could try this, or you're in a perfect position to go in this direction. And you just won't know until you get started and you just start seeing what's available. Because when you're sitting back and just trying to plan everything, or you're just contemplating, you're only going to see so much. You're only going to see what your mind is, what you know at that time. But when you get out there and you get going, whether you just, you're willing to go through that part where you don't know anything, then you'll see opportunities start to open up. So, and you don't have to know exactly what you want to do. I say just pick something and go with it, and that may very well lead to something else. So
I think that's so important, the action part, because I know plenty of people who say they're going to make an app, they're going to make this, they're going to make that, and they've been in the planning phase for like 5, 10 years. You're just like, go already.
Yep.
Quit.
And that's huge. And that was, probably the biggest part was because even in the first few months, it was so frustrating. I mean, there were some moments I was ready to bang my head against the wall and getting frustrated and like ready to cry. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I mean, I just knew that there was opportunity in it. I knew that, and that came from Glendon too. He said, if you're just in it long enough, it's like opportunities will present themselves. And that's really what has happened. So it's amazing to actually get to experience.
So the premise of your channel is, give us the layout, Jacob's life in Vegas.
Yeah, so when I started, I mean, I kept it broad, kept it general because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into a certain category with that name. There's just two components of Vegas that I saw when I was looking on YouTube that I just could not believe nobody was talking about out here. One of them was the tourist side of things, because I'd see all these videos about tourist stuff in Vegas, but it would be somebody who's just out here visiting. They have a few videos, and then you go to the rest of their videos, and it's all stuff of their personal life, or there's no videos at all. After their vacation here, they're back in Ohio, and they just made a few videos about tourist stuff. And even on the side of moving here, Nevada is by far the most transient state in the country. Like 3/4 of the state's population was not born and raised in Nevada. So I remember when I was getting ready to move here, there was like one video on YouTube about living in Las Vegas. And that was it. I mean, I was just looking at sites like City Data and just trying to find what I could. So from that other angle, the local angle, there was nobody on here talking about living here, about moving here, about really the life that's available to you. And I mean, I just could not believe there were these two gaping holes in the online world that were not being covered by people. So I started it, and I've just kept it all centered around Vegas. Lately, I've been focusing more on the local side of things. So like if you're to type living in Las Vegas or moving to Las Vegas on YouTube, I mean, like half the videos are going to be mine. I'm like the only person talking about it.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to the point where I've got even more. My videos are all on these recommended lists because I cover all these other topics. But I mean, I was just talking initially about stuff that I thought people would want to hear, stuff that I struggled with when I was moving out here. But that's going to open up, spots for business, for local businesses, for advertisers. I mean, I've started to meet people in the local community here, which has been great. I knew that was going to be a benefit, was going to get to meet people here locally. Mm-hmm. So it's just really, that's what it is helping people move here. I'm in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to write an ebook and have it all written out as like kind of like a starter's guide to moving to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I'm generated another idea it's about food in Vegas. Something I had an experience the other day where I saw something. I was like, this would be a great idea for an ebook. So creating those products, getting certain videos ranked really well. I mean, there's people who will pay to advertise on videos that you have ranked up really highly, or people to make videos for them. I mean, I'll make videos in the future. I'm probably gonna be doing videos for like local businesses where we have just like a party at their place, and it's like a marketing video for them. So there's a ton of fun stuff to do out here off the strip. That's what people don't realize. We have amazing food. Oh yeah, we got amazing food, amazing stuff that's great for locals to do. I'm gonna hit the family aspect of things. Believe it or not, Vegas actually has a lot of families out here, and it's actually, the myth is that you can't raise a family in Vegas. But
I thought they all moved to Reno. I thought they all just run off to Reno once they have children.
Yeah, some people think that, but I mean, it's just marketed as Sin City, so people just think that little 4-mile road of Las Vegas Boulevard is Las Vegas. It's like, nah, there's a couple million people that live here, and they don't live on the strip every day. So, yeah. So I end up dispelling a whole lot of myth about Vegas.
I'm telling you right now, as I think about Las Vegas, all I can think about is the strip. Then two is Reno 911 show from Comedy Central. So it's like your impressions of Vegas are like strip, the casinos or hillbillies running around. Like it's a hard it's a hard thing to be like, well, I don't know if I want to go there. So
Exactly. So
for your show. Um,
yeah.
there's there's a little thing about food. What I love is I don't know if you guys have food trailers out there, but I would be in Austin and I would just go on Google Plus, I'd go on Facebook and I'd go leave a great review. I'd take a picture at the food trailer. I do all this whole stuff. The
Yeah.
guy or girl who owned the food trailer would be like, next time you come, it's free. And so like for a while there, I was just using Facebook and Google Plus, and I didn't
Uh-huh.
even think about using YouTube. And so that it's a trifecta. It's a really great way to like connect you with business owners, to connect you with all kinds of people. And I mean, my friends would be laughing because I'd be going to these food trailers and they'd be like, "Why do you keep going there?" I'm like, "Because I got another free meal. That's why." And like, take a picture and check in and everything. Uh,
Yeah.
it's an underutilized, that's a freebie, but it's an underutilized thing people can do to not only help promote a business, but get you
Oh
some
yeah.
free pizza.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Well, so I like the ideal of the ebook. I like the ideal of food. Oh, because you talk about food somewhere being great. People are like, I got to put it on my list. You see the show, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I mean, that guy that's all it is. It's like food, 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 food. And people will drive to those places and
Oh
pack
yeah.
them out for months. It's crazy. Um, so with your show, with Las Vegas, with the food, I mean, where do you kind of see yourself like 2 years from now? Is there, real estate? Is there like more pizzazz on TV? Are you interviewing stars? Are you just at restaurants like I'm Jacob's Life Vegas? What do you think?
Uh, for me, there's going to be, and it's exciting. It's exciting, but it's kind of blurry because there's so many different directions I can go. I mean, my channel is going to grow. I mean, from the local side to also the vacation side, where I mean, it is going to be you're searching just about anything in Las Vegas, and you're going to see my face. You're going to see me coming up for local businesses, for all kinds of stuff, for just fun stuff to do, for stuff on the strip, for deals. I mean, I've talked to when I talk to people out here. I mean, I don't get to the point where I'm doing it full time, and really, I mean, I'd be doing plenty of stuff just for fun, like doing
Mhm.
staycations here. Like, hotel will pay me to go try, basically, be like a secret shopper or something in their hotel, and just enjoy all the amenities they have and talk about it and make videos about it. I mean, this is going to be my channel is going to be a resource factory, really, for people looking to move here, for people coming to vacations out here, where I can make deals with businesses and with casino properties and hotels where they can get discounts. I mean, cover a lot of topics where I can just help send people out, for information. If they're looking for any kind of help or profession, they're looking for a financial advisor, looking for a lawyer, looking for
Right.
help in some small business that they want, for vacation tips. If they need a vacation planner, they need a host. I mean, that's where I want to be, where I am the person that makes those connections. So where
That's man.
I'm like embedded in that community. So I mean that's
Jacob's Life in Las Vegas.
yeah, basically people are coming out here like, yeah, you need to talk. It's like if you got a question about something, like, or you got a major issue, it's like, yeah, you need to go talk to Jacob, or you need to go look at what Jacob's got. Like he's the go-to guy out here, because believe it or not, in a lot of ways Vegas is actually very much a small town. So it's very possible, for as much notoriety as the city has, as famous as it is, you can be a strong member of a small community out here. So
Oh,
that's the part I love too. It still has that small town aspect to it, believe it or not.
I was going to ask you, is there a hipster vibe out there? Because out here in Austin, I'm in North Carolina vacationing right now with my family. But in Austin, everybody thinks it's a big city, but it's not. It's a big college town, honestly. And everybody's
Yeah.
moving here. But it's like a hipster vibe. We got a hipster vibe in Durham, North Carolina, a hipster vibe coming to Charlotte, a hipster vibe going to Austin, a hipster vibe going to Portland, Seattle, Las Vegas. You guys are they're on these relocation lists, and I'm always thinking, is it families, is it business people, or is it a bunch of hipsters just hopping to
You,
different?
we get quite the mix, that's for sure. We get families, we get business people, but we actually do the hipster scene is downtown.
Uh,
So downtown here in Vegas is what they call the downtown project, where Tony Shea of Zappos has put in, like, I think $350 million into renovating downtown. So there's these new businesses down there. some of which I've already covered. I'm going to cover probably all of them in the future because they've just renovated and it's great. I mean, it used to be downtown used to have a really, really ugly reputation,
Mm-hmm.
but now they've put in lots of local bars, restaurants, unique places to unique businesses. They have a big park down there. It's great for families called Container Park. They've got probably one of my favorite places to go downtown is this place called Gold Spike, where
Mm-hmm.
it's not a club. It's not even like a lounge. It's just like a cool place to hang out. Like it's hard to say, but that's where the hipster scene is. Because Tony Hsieh, I mean, he's from Silicon Valley, so he's from that Bay Area. So that's where there's like kind of that strong tech scene that usually attracts the hipster crowd. So there's some of that out here in Vegas. I know Austin is part of that too, because Austin has been trying to attract some tech companies. Vegas
I
is
mean,
doing the exact same
California is
thing.
dumping people into the backyard of Austin. Just
Oh
here,
yeah,
take them. Um,
exactly.
do you see a lot of Californians, or you think a mix, more of a mix? Because I mean, I hear Californians are just running out by the millions. There's some
It's
data that show like 1 million businesses left the past 3 years, but I'm pretty sure there's still businesses over there. Do you see a lot
yeah.
of Californians in that part?
Oh yeah, you do, and it's interesting, but it's more of a mix than I thought it would be because I just figured, being here so close to California. I mean, here in Las Vegas, you're like less than half an hour from the state line of California. You're only 3.5 hours from the beach if you're going to LA or Orange County or anything like that. And LA County is a huge county that feeds into Las Vegas. So I thought really Vegas was just going to be run by Californians. And there's kind of a joke that Las Vegas is like just a suburb of LA.
Uh-huh.
But there's a much bigger mix here than I thought. When I got here, the biggest thing that surprised me, I was amazed at how many New York accents I heard out here in Las Vegas. A ton of people from New York, fair amount from Jersey. Yeah. Tons of Chicago, a lot of New York and Chicago transplants out here. Good amount from the Midwest in general. Southerners, I don't come across too many, but I've come across some. And it's a pretty decent mix. Like, in 25% of our population is actually foreign born. So yeah, I think maybe it's 20%. It's like 20 to 25% of our population is foreign born. So Vegas is actually a much bigger mix of people from all over the country and all over the world than you would actually realize. But yeah, I figured Nevada, being here in Vegas, was just going to be all Californians. But no, a lot of these a lot of East Coast people out here. A lot of these big casinos and hotel properties are run by New York and Chicago companies. So there is a lot more East Coast influence out here than you would actually think initially.
Yeah, this one guy said there's a lot of like Hawaiians or what do you call that? Samoans out there, and I was like, what are you doing there? So, but it's Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a video about that because I found that out before I came here that they call Vegas the Ninth Island, and it makes perfect sense when I moved out here because I mean in the Bay Area I knew a lot of Polynesian people, but they were usually mainlanders where their parents were from the islands, but they grew up on the mainland. A lot of people you'll meet out here, they're truly from Hawaii. And it's because in Vegas, Hawaii is a place that's also heavily dependent on tourism for jobs. So people, if they're trying to leave Hawaii, because Hawaii is an incredibly expensive place to live. Mm-hmm. So for them to leave a place where they have only worked in tourism to go somewhere else where they can transfer those skills, Vegas is probably the next closest place geographically. And the cost of living is so much cheaper. So that's the whole Hawaii Vegas connection is just people working in tourism and then the cost of living. So that's why it's becoming known as the Ninth Island out here.
Yeah, I heard that joke and I'm like, I don't get it. So
I moved here.
Yeah, I'm an East Coast person, Southern. So stuff past, I think anything past Virginia, Maryland, I don't know anything about that. Anything past edges of Texas, I'm like, that's like the desert to me. I think I went to Albuquerque once and I was like, this is unbearable.
Yeah.
I went to a Gather Nations powwow in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was just dying. And then like I thought I was gonna turn to leather. And then I came out at night and it was like all these people. And I'm like, where did all these people come from? I was out here all day and I didn't see anybody. It's nighttime, everybody shows up. But they have that college out there, so
yeah,
what that was. So Jacob, I'm excited to I think I have to come down there and visit for a Thrive conference later this year. If I'm out there and I buzz you, you better show me the hipster spot so I can get a good laugh.
Oh, you got it.
Because they love wearing long sleeves, and I'm like, it's so hot. There's just no way. But you know, if you could start over, knowing what you know now, the college debt, the football playing, the travel, the grad school, everything, the hustling, and I just dropped you back again with all your knowledge and $500. You choose the time frame, 18 to 21, somewhere along that timeline. What do you think would happen, or what would you do differently or not do differently?
Oh man, you
I know
know,
it's California, so $500 is, I don't know, maybe I should push it to 1,000, but we're gonna keep it 500.
no, it's fine. I mean, you know, the debt part when it came to school, that part is really tough because at that age you have just about zero concept of how much money, of money in general, but how much money you're taking out. And I've seen now how people get completely buried by their student loan debt. I mean, I wanted out of the house when I was growing up in Modesto as soon as I could and moved to the Bay Area, and I wound up paying for it truly. Going back, you know, football wasn't so big for me at the time. I wanted the scholarship, you know, and I was ready to just, and that wasn't such a strong part of my life. And I probably would have just went right ahead into starting some kind of business because I did have a good formal education from, you know, kindergarten through 12th grade. I did get a very good education in that regard. And, you know, I think it has some entrepreneurial spirit in me just from the time when I was a kid. So, I mean, I probably would have just gone and traveled, come back, then start a business. I mean, just gone that different route. The route I'm on now basically would have gone for it earlier.
Gotcha.
Is what I was thinking, you know. But of course, you know, at the time you only have the information you've got to make the decision. So, you know, you go through with what you think is the best thing, and then you wind up doing, or hopefully anyway, you wind up taking a look and realizing, okay, this is working or this is not working, and I'm going to go this route. So I probably would have just taken the route I'm on now, the entrepreneurship route. Probably would have just taken it earlier. That's probably what I would say because it was just always in me. So,
you know, there's one question I forgot to ask you, and
okay.
if someone came to you today, Jacob, they saw some of your videos, they go, Jacob, help me. I'm here in Las Vegas or wherever, because you know the YouTube can put you all over the world. And they go, I want to change my life today. Like starting today, I want to change my life. And what would you tell that young person, guy, girl, or what would you tell them?
Man, they come to me and they say they want to change their life. Oh man, that's a really tough one. It would have to be, the first thing would actually probably be having to realize that you are completely responsible for the life that you have today. And I used to think I had a good grip on that one until I stumbled a few times out here in Las Vegas and had to do some growing up. But I would just have to tell them, you have to understand that where you are right now is because of every decision you've made thus far. So if you want to go a different direction, you have to consciously be aware of it, and you have to consciously make a change, because that was the biggest thing when I came to move out here. And I just saw my future. If I stayed in the Bay Area and I did what everybody else was doing, I was going to be where everybody else was. So they said you have to make a conscious decision to go do something different, and you probably have to go against pretty much what everyone is going to tell you. You may have a couple people who support you or they're kind of neutral, but probably gonna have to ignore what they say and just do what you feel is right in your gut to get going. And that's, I mean, it really even falls into just getting started. I said that's just a big part of life. You're gonna have to figure it out as you go. You're not gonna have answers. You're gonna get all kinds of tests, but you're gonna learn as you go.
Oh man,
hopefully that helps.
That was good. I'm like over here clapping, like you are responsible. I mean,
I'm sorry, man. That's a hard one on the spot.
I'm sorry, but it's like I threw it out of order, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta give him my good one. You know, you never know. You never know who's watching your video and might pick up and change their life tomorrow. I interview people who are military. I interview you. I mean, you never know who they're watching. And some kid's like, man, I want to change today. And there you go. Thank you, Jacob, for your time. I know it's early out in Las Vegas.
It's all good.
Thank you for letting me put you on the spot. Again, everybody, I'm Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog. You can reach me at Erica S. Williams on Twitter. This has been another Slow and Low series with Jacob Orth. You can reach me at Jacob at Jacob's Life in Las Vegas. Jacob, put out your website, put out your YouTube channel. Give us some info.
Yeah, so YouTube, if you go and you search Jacob's Life in Vegas on YouTube, you will definitely come across me. My blog is the same name, jacobslifeinvegas.com. My Instagram is also Jacob's Life in Vegas, and then my Twitter is at Jacob's Vegas Life. So working on all those kind of things. I'm putting out multiple videos a week on the YouTube channel, and then still working Twitter and Instagram for now. So I'll do vacation stuff. I'll do local stuff. I'll just do people interview locals, or all different kinds of topics. So whether you're looking to move or looking to just come out and visit for a bit, you can find me and you can find videos I have about it.
Man, everybody, that is Jacob. You got to find him. He is dominating Las Vegas. He's Grant style dominating Las Vegas. So look, thank you guys for the show today. You guys have a great week. Be powerful.